you so much for being here for the first theater talk of our 15-16 season with a great show, Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Yes. My name is Catherine Stevens. I'm a member of our education team here at Proctor's, and I'm standing in for Jack Arneke. Lucky for me. And so I hope you all have some questions after seeing the awesome afternoon performance today. I know I do. Okay, I'll start. So you teched here in Schenectady. You created the tour here on our main stage. What was that like for you? Was it really great to be here in Schenectady and see a new town while you built this from the ground up?
Well, the Proctor's has been fantastic. It's been a really wonderful place to tech this show, and according to our sources, this is a medium house for the size houses that we're going to be playing. So that was really informative, because the only other theater where this show has been done is the Walter Kerr in New York City, which is a considerably smaller theater. So it was really, it's been a learning process for us to learn how to make the show translate so that everybody can enjoy it, not just the people who are in the first couple rows.
Even just to piggyback on that one thing, our very first preview on Saturday night, the show played to the largest audience it's ever played to in its entire 10-year history, which is kind of amazing.
I forgot, in my excitement, to let them introduce themselves and the roles they played. Thank you.
I'm Megan Loomis, and I played the tour guide, among other roles.
I'm Ben Roseberry. I played Chief Inspector Pinkney amongst Newsboy and a lot of others.
My name is Chris Bemke. I was the magistrate among, like everyone else, 1,000 other things in this lovely show.
I'm Kristen Beth Williams. I play Sabella.
Any other questions so far? Yes, gentleman in the blue. Oh, where are the cast members from originally?
I grew up in a town called Mesquite, Texas. It's a suburb of Dallas.
You made that man so happy. I grew up in Stratford, Connecticut, which is in southern Connecticut, a little bit north of New York. So Schenectady for me is really great, because finally I'm in something that my family can come visit me at. So happy to be here.
Mostly New York City. Spent a little time in Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to college in St. Louis, but New York for over half my life.
I'm from Rochester, New York.
Okay. I know that this is an incredibly strong vocal show. It's almost the entire thing is sung. Do you have any sort of special training techniques or warm-ups that you do? Do you not talk during the day?
Oh, we talk. I think, yeah, it's an incredibly disciplined group of people, and really from day one, what an amazing group of musicians, honestly, because people came in and we were reading through parts of the score we'd never seen, and it was really exciting, an exciting room to be in. And Paul Staroba, our musical director, I thought, gave us a really incredible music base to pull from, because as you can see, we're running around and we're doing crazy things and we're changing our clothes, and so he laid a really good foundation for us, that music, like this show, that's the glue that keeps the show together. So I found that really beneficial. But I mean, we're all warbling and yawning and hooing and hawing upstairs. It's kind of exciting. But yeah, everybody's very disciplined in warming up, and our bodies and our voices. I mean, it's a lot. It's a very, very physical show, even though you maybe wouldn't peg it as being a physical show. And they warned us about that early on, so that was helpful.
Yes, right here in the front. Since this was totally different than the original venue, why was Schenectady chosen to be where we start the tour?
I mean, I do know that Proctor's is chosen a lot of times to tech shows. I think mainly because of its proximity to New York City, but also just it's an iconic theater. It's historic and it's beautiful. I mean, why wouldn't you tech a show at Proctor's?
Great answer. Yes, the gentleman in the blue. So since you've been here for a while, have you been able to explore?
Well, I think we're just starting to, and unfortunately just at the point we begin to get to do that is the point that we're going to leave. So the tech process here, generally we're here till like midnight, and then you go home and you sleep because you're here all day. And the process for this show, teching it, has been extensive. You guys can see there's a lot of things that are going on very specific cues, technical-wise, musical-wise. It's a very elaborate show, and it's very different than doing it in a rehearsal room with just rehearsal props. There's quite a few things going on. So not as much as I think any of us would like to, just because we're here for the days during tech are very long. But we're very lucky. We have like another couple of days left. We're gonna have like a full day off here. So I know a whole bunch of us are like getting together and figuring out plans of how to take advantage of the area while we are here. It is coming up, thank God.
Yes, all the way in the back. Your great-grandfather was...
It's quite possible. It's quite possible. I don't know too many Roseberries, so that's fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that.
In the teal? Yes. How hard was it to get the choreography so crisp?
Well, our fantastic ensemble and even the principals, we are still getting notes from our choreography team about, could you just be slightly outside of 2 instead of on 2? Because from the back of the house, being on 2 looks like you're too close to the person next to you. It's extremely precise, and I know that it's been a little harrowing for everyone on stage at times, just because we've, like Chris said, a lot of days we'll have been here from noon until midnight, and to just stand on stage and have somebody go, okay, could you put your fingers on 4.5 instead of on 5, and so you move it this much. They're like, that's it, that's perfect. You're like, how am I going to remember that it's here and not here? So it's but we had 4.5 weeks of rehearsal in New York City, and then 10 days of technical rehearsals, which were either 8-hour days or 10-hour days for us here in Schenectady, when we added all of the costumes and the set and the lights and the projections and all of those things. And so it's been what is that, six weeks basically to get it to the show that you saw today, and we're still tweaking and fine-tuning and doing little things before we have our official opening next week. So
yes. How many or any of you were in the Broadway production?
Our Monty, Kevin Massey, was in the Broadway production, but none of the rest of us were. And he was in the ensemble on Broadway and he understudied Monty, and so then they asked him to play the role on the tour. All brand new.
Yes, you had a question. Where's next?
We go to Chicago next. To what was the Shubert Theater and is now called the Bank of America Theater. So,
yes. So how do the costume changes go? Are the costumes original pieces or historical pieces?
They're all Linda Cho, our costume designer, based. Especially all of the women's costumes, Edwardian fashion was not nearly as sexy as they wanted, say Sabella especially, to look in the show. So they're Edwardian with a twist, and most of my costumes are either 2 pieces or I have one that's 1 full piece. And then a lot of accessories. So my costume changes include a lot of me standing in one place and removing all of my accessories while someone is working on my hair and somebody else is zipping up my my skirt and then my top. John Rapson, who plays our Dysquith family, a lot of his are all rigged so that they can go on as quickly as possible, because he has one change that is, I believe, 15 seconds long. So So they're 15 seconds long, 15 seconds short. So they're all original costume designs. Linda Cho won the Tony Award for her costume designs for this show, and so I know it's a beautiful show, isn't it? But yes, they're all Edwardian with a twist.
Corseted. The women are all the women are all corseted, and to give the silhouette, to help with the silhouette, and the men are all in shirts and collars, and I think everything you see is exactly. Because the most important thing I think is the silhouette, and it really evokes a beautiful period. Oh yes, the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, we had to make an adjustment. You think awfully hard about what you eat before you put the corset back on.
And every costume change is choreographed, right? Like everyone has an assigned job as to what they remove and who puts on what and when and in what order.
Yes. Yes. It's this process here in Schenectady was for all of us with our traveling crew and with our local crew who've been fantastic. So kudos to you guys. Your local crew here is astonishing. It's all been a process of figuring it out as to who does what and in what order. I have a couple of very quick costume changes in Act 2, and it was, okay, so I'm going to stand facing you so that you can do this, and I will remove all of these, and then I'll go wig. And that, so it's all choreographed within an inch of its life. I know that you guys have the Ancestors change, which is...
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I have a few. My fastest is actually right out of the final death in the show, which is Barrel of a Gun. And I finish in a waiter tuxedo with gloves, and I think I have about 10, 15 seconds to get gloves and tuxedo completely off and throw on a vest and a coat and put glasses on so that I can be the detective. It took a little while for me to get used to because I'm brand new to it, but we found it, and that's great. And yeah, the Ancestors change can be a little fast as well, but it's all about, as she said, accessories. That's really what makes it, because a lot of times it's just throwing on a shell of something which is sort of either zipped up or buttoned up or sometimes even held in place by magnets, and then it's just throwing a wig on or a hat on, and boom, you're out the door.
Yes. Oh, no, right behind you. Oh, what is your theater training and background?
I went to Eastman School of Music. I studied vocal performance there, and I danced as well, and I found myself booking jobs when I moved to New York City, so here I am. I never looked back.
I went to Webster Conservatory, which is in St. Louis, Missouri. I got a BFA in musical theater.
I went to Boston University, but I got a degree in international relations. So who knows why I'm here? No, there are many ways to get training, and I think the importance is to get training and to get experience to apply that training there. And I was fortunate enough to have a really vibrant theater community where I could still be involved in shows. I studied classically with some of the other teachers there. I studied abroad in Italy, and I studied with an opera singer there. And so I sort of put together my own training regimen and my own experience. It was not necessarily a degree program, but whatever works, whatever gets you there,
I went to the University of Oklahoma and majored in, I have a BFA in drama with an emphasis in musical theater.
As a member of the education department, I like all of those answers.
Everybody went to school.
In the somewhere in the back, yes. How many crew members are there, both locally and on tour?
Our company is 34, I think, with 15 cast members, including swings, and then the rest are. Sorry, I went to music school. The rest are both crew and then management, stage management and company management. So that's who we travel with, and then each department has a lot, with wardrobe having the most assistants, local assistants, and then the orchestra is local, so we travel with our conductor / music director and 2 keyboard players, and then everyone else is local. So kudos to the city as well for having such. when all is said and done, I guess it might be close to 80 or
Yeah.
80 people, including all the locals. And yeah, so it'll be interesting. Actually, we should get that tally because that's a really interesting.
We should,
question
and it's
to have.
actually that's small for a national tour. You know, it's not it's not the usual, it's not the norm to have a cast of only 15, including swings. And we are very fortunate that we have 2 male and 2 female swings, and just so that we're covered on the road. A lot of times you will see only one of each. And a swing is someone who is not an onstage performer, but will swing in when someone is out, whether they're sick or injured or has a vacation.
We have time for one last question, and perfect for you. Did you see little microphones on the foreheads?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. John Rapson and Kevin Massey, because they rarely leave the stage, and if John is off stage, he's changing his clothes, wear 2 microphones through the entire show in case one goes out. So they've got 2 packs and 2 elements up at the top. And the rest of us, the ladies wear ours in our wigs, and the gents, I don't know where you guys wear your microphones. They have earpieces. I don't know where you put the pack, though.
And as
And
our
on
leaving
that
note, please a big thank you to our cast members for being here today. Thank you so much.